If I was to tell you some of the most forgiving iron designs were almost 10 years old, what would you say? And if that statement is true, how is it even possible with a brand with so much promise just disappear off the face of the earth? The biggest question through all of this mystery are the reasons why they had to be removed. And interestingly, in 2023, why they're allowed to come back at all. But why should I care, I hear you guys ask, and that's a very good question. These clubs go for next to nothing, pennies, but the technology that they had in them 10 years ago are being used in some of the most exclusive and expensive golf clubs in 2023 without us even knowing. I'm seriously considering putting these forged irons into my bag for the rest of the season. The only problem is they might go a tiny bit too far. For example, a 150-yard pitching wedge. This story all culminates around patents. The golf industry boasts the most patents by a mile. American football, cricket, tennis, baseball, all the major sports in the world combined and double it. Now, obviously, patents have to be very specific, meaning other manufacturers could find some loopholes here and there, but the idea for a patent is to deter the competitor as much as possible. Is it going to cost too much in R&D to get around it? Is it going to take too much effort, time, and potentially once the changes have been made, is it a completely different golf club and design that doesn't really work all together anyway? Oh, what a ball flight. Therefore, if you're Taylormade and you like the designs, the patents of a smaller company, rather than try and get around them, reinvent the wheel as you were, you might as well just buy them. So what were the patents that were so sought after? And when I show you the like-to-like comparisons at the end of this video, you'll wonder how you never saw it before. This is one of the most forgiving brands of golf clubs ever to come out. And even though that's a big positive, it held back their growth, became a negative and became a stereotype that was very difficult to shed. However, that was the case up until 2010, 2012, 2014, when they started to make some outrageously good cavity muscle backs. And even though the brand was profitable up until being bought out, there wasn't necessarily a way for them to compete with the big boys R&D, and especially that long distance off the tee. In 2010, 2011, moving forward, the golf rat race turned into distance. High launch, low spin. Which brand gained the average golfer 20, 30 yards off the tee? And in the amateur's eyes, that is a massive win. However, there is a substitute. There is a negative for that longer distance off the tee: forgiveness, control, dispersion. So arguably one of the most clever moves by Taylormade, and I don't think it's any coincidence that all of a sudden in the big hitting machines that it was producing, from the fairway woods all the way up to the game improvement irons, we started seeing this small brand, startup companies, technology and patents starting to be included in a lot of their technology. 9 iron, 150 downhill into the breeze. Oh, if it goes. There's a big reason why I love this set of irons, and it's because I've played with them before. Taylormade's version of them, the Taylormade PSI forged irons. No wonder I was gravitating towards them when I saw them at Replay Golf. But just like that set, and the only reason why better players move to a more bladed set, combo set, is that at the lower end of the bag, if you get that forgiveness, that high launch, and you catch it a bit too well, it can go too far. Barney Adams created Adams Golf in 1988, far from the cheap, affordable clubs they did at the end of their journey, with an $8,500 fairway wood. But there's no question how pivotal Barney Adams was in terms of the golf industry. No wonder Taylormade, even if they were coming up with similar technology, wanted to get a hold of the Adams patents. And considering Mr. Adams was awarded in 2010 the Lifetime Contribution Award by the PGA America, there's no wonder that the gentleman involved was kind of onto something in terms of golf manufacturing. But Adams was still a small company in 2010, still appealing to that beginner market. Affordable, high launching, high spinning and forgiving, until they started releasing arguably some of the best looking forged muscleback irons I've even seen today. Especially the chromed out CB2 forged iron. This thing looks like it could come out tomorrow with a Taylormade Callaway Titleist logo on the back of it, and none of us would bat an eyelid. Good equipment doesn't necessarily sell golf clubs. There's a lot of small brands making affordable equipment that don't get the same kind of recognition that they deserve. Therefore, Taylormade was able to buy out Adams, double its share price at $10 a share, equaling $70 million, which, let's be honest, is pocket change for them. However, Taylormade didn't necessarily hold up its end of the bargain until potentially this year. Adams, even though profitable, wasn't growing at a rapid pace like Callaway paying Taylormade in the golf market. Money would have had to be spent. Therefore, in terms of the deal, it was a win-win for both sides. However, the statement Taylor made after the merge, the buying of the company, well, they didn't necessarily hold up their end of the bargain. You see, when Taylormade bought Adams in 2012, they actually applauded Adams on their beginner irons, even saying their beginner game improvement irons were better than Taylormade's own, and that they were looking to grow Adams alongside Taylormade. Taylormade, the #1 brand in golf, and then Adams, potentially #2 in golf. Which, for very obvious reasons, and a great article from My Golf Spy, shows that, let's be honest, that's never going to work. It's the main reason why we haven't heard from Adams since 2012. Apart from the Adams Tight Lies clubs that came out in 2020, we haven't heard from Adams whatsoever, which isn't necessarily keeping the brand going, considering that's the only release that's come out in the last 10 years. That is until this year, however. 2023, the relaunch of Adams Golf very much looks like a Puma Cobra advert. Young, fresh, beginner, just getting into the game, not stupidly expensive, and to be honest, the clubs actually look pretty decent. The one alarming factor, however, is that it isn't got any of the Adams Golf technology from the outside. Where is that rubber layer in the sole for that forgiveness that Adams is known for? It almost makes me think Taylormade have taken the good positives of Adams irons for the forgiveness and launch and just incorporated it to its own, and then left the Adams brand to fend for itself. That being said, the Adams driver looks just like the Taylormade M4. Taylormade M5. The thing looks great, there's no question about it. So it is somewhat confusing, and I'd like to test it in the future to see if they've actually left the Adams brand enough to make it a viable, new, affordable golf range. Ladies and gents, I give you the Taylormade Adams Idea Black Forged CB2 irons. Now, personally, I love the look of the chrome finish, but these are the ones that Replay had in store, and thank you to those boys for lending them to me to try and test. And I love them. I think they're a great set. £200, if you can find a set, by all means, get them. However, for my club head speeds and not hitting down on the ball enough, just go too far. That's my technique, that's not these clubs. And potentially, if I can find an X-Diff set in the future for to pitching wedge, I think these might go in the bag. If you do come across some of these clubs, whether it's the super forgiving hybrid Adams clubs or these forged beauties which I've found here, I highly recommend purchasing them and try them, as they're not going to break the bank. Not to mention, they're packed with Taylormade technology. If you like this video, leave it a like, comment down below. You might like this video up here on the right hand side. Catch you guys later.